The live stream has started. This is the Daily Freakout for Wednesday, the 25th of February. Good morning. I hope you're having a great day so far. I have already had my little breakfast and a couple of coffees. I am disgusted by the price of coffee at the moment. If anyone was interested, it is terrible. I went to the supermarket. So many years ago, when in a previous life, when when I was I'm live streaming on the TikToks, and it just suggested that I invite a certain person to be a guest, and that person would probably not want to be a guest. We don't really talk that much anymore. Anyway, it's very funny the way that the social media tries to get you to, like, not that long ago, when I was still on Facebook on a proper version or a proper amount, Facebook suggested that my best mate's ex-wife's dad become my Facebook friend. And I was like, nah, I'm okay with that. And I think he's okay with that too, because I'm not sure I've ever really spoken to him. Anyway, back many years ago in a previous life, I started to become a coffee nerd, and I'm still a coffee nerd. And when I was becoming a coffee nerd, the price of a 250 gram bag of beans was about $15, and that was pretty good. It was great. Now a 200 gram is like $19, and I'm very disappointed. Very disappointed at the cost of coffee when you're buying coffee. I had to buy coffee yesterday because I'm trying not to drink the power energy drink things that I drink, because my theory being, if I'm going to overdose on some kind of stimulant, coffee's better for me than power energy drinks. So the goal is coffee now, to try and see what happens. It's all an experiment. As much as biohacking and all that kind of stuff is a bit woo woo and a bit shit, you do the experiments. One thing that Rob Wolf, he was one of the original paleo guys that's now become the primal diet, which has now become the carnivore diet. One thing that I liked that he said one time was, take your diet. If something's going wrong, take your diet and take things out of it, see what happens. Put things in, see what happens, and change things like that. So have a really sort of tight, regimented diet that's a certain things, and then take something out. So take bread out and see what happens. Do you feel better? Do you feel worse? Put bread back in, see what happens. Do you feel better? Do you feel worse? And so you don't necessarily need to go to the doctor to get blood tests and stuff. You can do things like that to sort of see, hey, maybe this isn't working for me. If you're lactose intolerant and you drink milk and you then need to go to the toilet and it's not fun, then maybe you're lactose intolerant. Like, that's how you work it out, these kind of things. And so I'm trying to go back to nice black coffee instead of energy drinks. And the unfortunate thing is, I'm poor and I can't afford good coffee. And so the coffee I'm drinking today is pretty average. Pretty average. I don't know how. I understand why people think they don't like coffee or black coffee, because if you don't have it right or have it done well, it's just terrible. It really is. And so I'm pushing through because I like the caffeine. It's all about the caffeine. It's all about drugs, people. It's all about the drugs. Imagine what we'd be like if we didn't have caffeine. The entire world. Because the entire world runs on caffeine. It's just crazy. Or maybe some people don't. There's those weirdos that don't drink coffee, isn't there? But that's what's going on with me. What's going on with you? Do you drink coffee? Do you like coffee? Tell me if you like coffee. What type of coffee do you like? I saw a person on Tumblr asking about Australians drinking flat whites. And I'm like, well, I'm such a AI summary, coffee price rant. Yes, that is what I am ranting about, coffee prices. Somebody said on Tumblr, they asked about what kind of flat what like do Australians just always drink flat whites? And I'm like, well, no, not at all. I wouldn't usually don't even order a flat white. It's normally a double shot latte for me, in the smallest cup they've got. And even then, I'm disappointed. I've there's something about my coffee taste buds that have been completely ruined by being a barista for a number of years, because nobody can make me a good enough coffee. And most baristas, in my opinion, don't know the difference between latte, flat white, and cappuccino milk. There is a difference, and there should be a difference. They should be different drinks. A cappuccino should actually feel in the cup lighter than a flat white, and a latte should be in the middle. But they don't do that. They don't think about that. They don't. That's not what they worry about when they're making coffee. All they worry about making coffee these days is that it's silky smooth milk, and that they can do some fancy latte art. And it's just very frustrating because I find that the coffee has no flavor, and the milk's fine, but I'm not buying it for the milk. I'm buying it for the coffee and the flavor, because in Melbourne here we've got some of the best coffee in the world, and you go to certain places and you ask for a coffee and it's average, if not crap. Anyway, just because you're behind the machine and you're a barista doesn't mean you're actually good at making coffee or that you know what you're doing. And there's always going to be a absolute snobby knob like me, who will tell you otherwise. Yet at the same time, it's funny when I'm at home and I drink pretty shit coffee. So who am I to talk? I'm not one to talk. I am not in any way the expert, unfortunately. It's been a long time since I've made a coffee too. I'm just daydreaming about making good coffee. Anyway, this is the Daily Freakout. I've just done 7 whole minutes on coffee rant. Fantastic stuff. I'm trying to post and upload even more stuff. And it's just crazy how much you've got to feed the algorithm these days, isn't it? If you're trying to do something like a radio show or a breakfast show like this, you don't get to sort of work your way up on an actual station and get all the listeners that were already there beforehand. You've got to start from scratch and from nothing. So if you've got an idea of what should be talked about on the Daily Freakout, please let me know, because the only article I've got today is actually quite depressing. Let's go straight to it. It is: gay and bisexual Sydney teenagers lured and bashed on camera in IS-inspired attacks. Now, where have I actually left the article so I can read some of it? Because this is, as I established yesterday, because I'm sure you were all watching then. No, it's not there. Fantastic. I have screwed up once again. Apparently, some of the people who were involved or associated with the terrorist attack that happened in Bondi last year, where a Muslim-orientated or Muslim extremist shot and killed a heap of Jewish people that were just having a nice lunch. Apparently that group has been pushing their kind of bullshit and encouraging people to go out and beat up gay and homosexual teenagers by luring them in and then beating them up. Now, the reason why I've brought this up as an article or as something to talk about is that for me, as a firm non-religion person, atheist isn't quite the right word. I do firmly believe that religion in general is the problem, is part of the problem, is something that causes pain and suffering and divides us and separates us. I mean, if the Middle East seems to be, from my semi-educated opinion or viewpoint, seems to be a bunch of religious people fighting and arguing and killing each other because they interpret a bunch of books differently to each other. Judaism believes in one thing, and then Jesus came along, and so some people believe in Jesus and the New Testament and the Old Testament. And then Islam believes that Jesus was a person and a prophet, but he wasn't the son of God. And it's all so similar. It's all this stuff that's so intertwined with each other, and it just seems that it's literally like, no, 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 I've interpreted it the best. I should be the one that you all listen to and that you should all believe in. And then they go out and they do all these terrible things. Like, again, I'm anti-religion, but if you're a bunch of religious people and you want to just go to a park and have a barbecue, that's fantastic, or a picnic or whatever it is. That's fantastic. Do it. I love that. If you're a Sikh, the Sikh religion is fantastic. They go out and they feed people. That's just brilliant. Keep doing that. If you want to stay at home, have a little crucifix and a little thing and say, I believe in Jesus, go for it. That's not hurting anyone. You can have whatever beliefs you want if they don't hurt anyone. But the minute you start going and encouraging young people to go and beat up and hurt other young people, or encouraging father and son duos to go shoot a bunch of people, that's when there's a problem. Your beliefs go to a point where you try to inflict your beliefs on other people, and you are part of the problem. And so this kind of stuff is just terrible. I don't understand the benefit. I don't understand how you can possibly believe that some all-powerful God gives a rat's ass about whether somebody's gay or not. It just leave them alone. Just leave them alone to do their own thing, and just have, as long as they're not hurting anyone. It's only when somebody's hurting someone that you should go after them. And in this country at the moment, we've got the problem of somewhat racist people who think that immigration is terrible. And immigration is, of course, not terrible. It's a reason why many countries in the world are better than they were previously. This country in particular. And a lot of the people will take something like this and they'll say that it's immigration, it's these immigrants and stuff. And it's like, well, no, it's people with this mentality. It's this mentality of, my book's the best, I've worked it out the best, and I'm going to enforce my belief and my version of the story onto other people. And it's somewhat ironic that I talk about this and say, this is my view and stuff, and somewhat in a way forcing it on people, because even though people have the choice to listen or not listen, I'm preaching in a way. But my preaching is, do whatever you want as long as it doesn't hurt anyone. Leave it alone. Leave us alone. Those of us who don't believe don't have to deal with your shit. And if you do something wrong that the general society deems to be wrong, i.e. Catholic priests and children, then we're going to come for you and stop you from doing it. You can't hide. You shouldn't be able to hide behind some god or some deity of any kind like that. It's all very, very frustrating from a atheist perspective. And it's something. It's just a conversation that goes round and round and round, and we can never really get to the end of it, I don't think, because I don't think it's going to go away, which is quite a shame. So, on that somewhat depressing note, getting myself into a what's the word, down a rabbit hole with a bit of a rant. Should go back to coffee prices. How much is a smashed avocado in your town? How much is it for breakfast? I was amazed a while ago, and I've done it a few times, and I obviously am not going to be doing it anymore, but I bought a coffee, and effectively a sandwich, a smallish sandwich, and a treat, whether it was a donut or something, and it was like $25. And I was like, it seems a bit steep. It just seems a bit much. And it's this thing of, well, if we the working people keep paying our ever increasing rent and this and that, and the our wages don't go up, we're not going to have enough money to buy anything, which means we're not going to be able to go to the shops and buy smashed avocados and coffees and things, which means the shops will shut down. And it's like, where does the line stop? Where does the society and the ecosystem of paying and for things stop? And it's this weird thing of, if you're a rich person that's getting all the money from the poor people. If you're the business owners, like for instance, if you're Jeff Bezos and you've got Amazon and you keep hoarding all the money and not giving it to your staff and your and the people who can then purchase things, where does your business model fail where no one can buy anything from you? I don't understand their thinking, that rich person thinking of, I'm going to hoard all the money and no one else can have any. It's like, yeah, but then what do? You've got to get rid of it somehow. You've got to pay it out somehow. How can no one's going to buy your stuff if they haven't got any money, if you've hoarded all the money? It's that thing of that ecosystem of life eats life. Plants grow up and take the sun and the nutrients from the soil, and then the animal eats the plant, and then another animal eats that animal, then that animal dies and lays down and then breaks down into the soil, which then feeds the plant, which then feeds the animal, etc., etc. It's that circle of life. And it's the same thing in business and with expenses and rents and all that kind of stuff. Just take it easy. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is I'm annoyed that I've got a rent increase coming up. That's what I'm annoyed about. Oh, it keeps popping into my head and it keeps depressing me a fair bit. Because goddamn, I've got to get out of this place. I've really got to get out of this place. So, I've done it again. I haven't prepared. So, what we're going to do now, I said it yesterday. I'm sure you were watching yesterday. Go to YouTube if you want to watch yesterday's episode. AI is good and bad. It's a good technology. It's a bad technology. It's got lots of good things happening, coming with it. And it's got lots of bad things coming with it. One of the good things is that we get to hear very easily and quickly what a band doing a cover might sound like. Or we get to hear a band that we like in a different style, and that can be interesting as well. So today we have Evanescence done in a 90s hip-hop style. Let's see if I can get this to work. Here we go. Anyway, fantastic. How would you describe it? AI cover. I think they're fantastic, these AI covers and things. They're just... And it's seriously, I said it yesterday, I'll say it again. Somebody needs to develop a cover band. And all you need to do is write into AI a bunch of funny combinations of bands doing certain songs and then cover those songs. Imagine you go to a gig and it's R&B covers like this of metal songs and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. I think that would be great. I think people should do that. A band out there should do that. I have ideas, and sometimes other people have the same idea, and then it becomes that they have success with it, and good on them. And so I think some of my ideas are pretty good because other people have had the same idea and had success. So that's an idea. Someone should take it, do it, or have the same idea. So yesterday, oh, we I tried to sell the Bamboos record, Nighttime People. No one got in touch. So sometime soon it's going to go on Discogs at a higher price than I said. Just give me an offer for that one. Today, something that you may have heard of, or someone you may have heard of, Childish Gambino. This is, I don't even know what the name of this actual album is. Oh, but it's fantastic. Some of the design and everything. It's 2 records, and they're very psychedelic, very pretty. And if I had the turntable hooked up, I'd throw on a split second of it, because obviously I couldn't play a whole track, because how dare I? My 2 followers, or two people watching, and when I say 2 people, that was at the absolute height, whereas now there is 1 person watching. So like, my viewers. The cool thing about this album is that it comes with this book, and it has an entire script in it, of which I have not read. I'll be honest with you. I should read it. I don't even know exactly what this album's called. Oh, that's fantastic that light's going to do that. This is how professional this show is. God damn it. The damn lights go out. Happens so often that you'd think I'd be more attuned to it. So yeah, I don't know what this actual... I'm actually struggling to find the actual... Oh, wait. Because the internet. The way I've found out what it is that on the side there, can you see? It sort of says it. Anyway, because the internet is the album, it's on 2 pieces of vinyl. It has an entire script book in the middle of it, because Donald Glover is a damn overachiever, and not only does he do an album, but he also does an entire script. For your money, make me an offer. You'll pay the shipping to wherever you are, but this album could be yours. As I said, as with the Bamboos, it'll go on Discogs probably on Sunday, so a few days away from now. But if you'd like to buy that album at a reasonable price, I'm doing it as partly to create a segment and to create something for the show, as much as I need to sell off my record collection. And so those 2 are the first 2 that are going to go, and hopefully somebody somewhere will be able to listen to them and enjoy them and get a good price for them. They're both in very good condition. They're obviously secondhand, but in good condition. So yeah, Childish Gambino, Because the Internet. I should listen to that again before I sell it, and read the script, because I still haven't, after having it for 5 or 6 years, have not read the script. But anyway, this has been the Daily Freakout. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you've enjoyed it. It can only get better because it's not great so far. To recap, coffee prices, too much. Most baristas don't know what they're doing to a good enough standard, in my opinion. They know what they're doing, but not to a good enough standard. I had a good disagreement with a fellow barista at a place that I worked, where they had gone and done a coffee course and been told, do this, do this, do this. And that's all they could focus on. They couldn't adapt and change. Whereas I was always experimenting and trying to find more flavor and more thing and that and stuff. And they just hated the fact that I was like, no, we're going to do things a bit differently than what the coffee course told you. And that always really frustrated me, because I was like, but I make better coffee than you do. Sure, your latte art's great, but I make better coffee. So I feel like if you have latte art and you drink the latte and you or flat white or whatever, you go, oh yeah, that's nice. But if you actually have good flavor, you then go back for more. It's like that whole, you can judge a book by its cover. You probably will find some information about a book by its cover, but it's only when you've read the book that you know whether it was good or not. Like, I could pick up any copy of Lord of the Rings. I don't care what the cover is because I've read it, I know the story, and I know the quality inside. The cover doesn't matter anymore. Whereas somebody who's new to Lord of the Rings is going to look at the cover and go, oh, I wonder what this is. Is this interesting? Is this good, bad, whatever? So, yeah, that's my theory on coffee. If you've got a coffee recommendation, I recently had some Market Lane beans over Christmas, and they were fantastic. Market Lane was the first coffee place down in Paran or up in Paran that I really got into back in the day. Axel Coffee's always been really good. And then there's that tiny little place, the name of it I can't remember, in Mount Eliza. I wonder if they're still there. They're my coffee recommendations for Melbourne. If you get Axel Coffee or Market Lane, you're onto a good thing. But there's heaps of good coffee out there. Oh man, I really feel like doing a coffee tour of the city. Haven't done that in a long time. Anyway, this is the Daily Freakout. Hopefully I'll be back tomorrow because I am pushing and pushing and pushing and trying to get all this stuff done. So I will see you then. Thank you very much for tuning in, and goodbye. Why won't it stop? Oh my god, seriously.